You didn't know me then, but I promise you know me now. Thank you.
Alexander! Going down like the Titanic. Arms blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic.
What's up, dude?
Hey, Alex.
How's it going, man?
How's it going, man?
Yeah, dude. Let me turn the volume on that shit real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
How's the training going for you today?
Good, dude. Just wrapped up a session. About to hit some mitts right now, but it's going, baby. It's going.
Yeah,
got this fucking. I don't know if you see these fucking meth windows I got boarded up right here, but yeah, it looks like a trap den. I got. Yeah.
So, like, are you sneaking into the gym like secretly, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I co-own my own gym, so fortunately, you know, I got the keys to the door, so we just open up and
Nice, man.
Yeah, put our mask on, get to work.
Yeah, you're a lot more fortunate than other fighters, you know, that have to train at their home. So, like, I bet it's really nice to have a gym of your own that you can just, you know, open up whenever you want.
Yeah, man, it was convenient. Honestly, this whole this whole pandemic period and even having to prepare for a fight, I felt like I had a pretty big advantage. Because I feel like I'm always on island out here in San Antonio. You know, it's just me and my OG dudes out here, and we're so isolated from the rest of like the mega gym community that I feel like having this period of global, especially national isolation, we were thriving. Me and Ferguson, already used to being lonely out here.
So, how's everything going for you in San Antonio? Because I love.
It's weird, man. It's strange. Yeah, shit's weird for sure. You saying you've been out here? What were you saying?
Oh yeah. So I've been in San Antonio on a lot of occasions. I always go there in the summer. What's your favorite place in San Antonio to go? Is it like the Riverwalk, the Alamo?
St. Mary's Strip. There's a little strip called St. Mary's. I like to get grimy down there. Get my nails a little dirty. Yeah, we get. Honestly, like. I grew up in San Antonio, so like I went up to Austin for a little bit. It's an hour up the road. Now I live in New Braunfels, which is like in between the two of them. There's a long highway called 35, and so I've got this train around New Braunfels, and we just get like weird out in the waters together and do a bunch of nature shit, real like Tarzan-esque, right? And Austin, I've got some other training partners, some coaches, and just like all my oldest best friends. So I'll spend like half my time in Austin, half my time in San Antonio with my main team, and then of course training in New Braunfels. But San Antonio's cool though. Yeah, it's more of like a residential kind of family area. So like it's a good place to kind of like grow up. But as far as being in your 20s, 30s, depending on what you're doing, it's not a great place for going out. But fortunately, I'm not really going out, so it's good.
Yeah, for me, like I love San Antonio. Everything about that city is pretty awesome. Austin too. Austin is a great city.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Where are you at?
I'm in Gainesville. It's like an hour away from Dallas, but me and my family, we always go to San Antonio.
Dope. Yeah. Dallas is a fucking mess, right, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend a little bit of time out there. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Super haywire in Dallas. That's where all the cliches from Texas come from. Yeah, big boobs, big trucks, big hats. The whole thing.
Yeah. I went to UFC 228, and I think the meet and greets got rained out, so I wasn't able to meet you there.
That was the Till Woodley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it got rained out, so all the meet and greets were canceled, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but it was a great event, though.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Didn't get paid for the meet and greets, so that sucked. Yeah.
So, first question is like, how are you feeling right now, having two fights fall through with UFC 249, and do you think you'll eventually fight Islam in the near future, or are you putting your sights on somebody else right now?
I mean, now, dude, it's so subject to circumstance. I was super bummed out, of course, about 249 being canceled. It was the week before the fight. This isn't a basketball game, so you pull the rug out on something like that. At that point, it feels like we're pot committed. I've invested so much money, so much time, so much sacrifice. Mental, physical anguish, it's an emotional roller coaster getting to that fight with all the shit we had going on, all the resources being cut, the opponent changing, the location being undetermined, and then, switching back and forth from the back end. It was a fucking roller coaster. And I was fully prepared. And so having that kind of pulled out, that sucked for a minute. I fucking got over it, wept a little bit, got home, smoked a joint, and moved on. And I took like I took a week, that following week, just to kind of reset outside the gym. This place like starts becoming a dungeon after a while. And so, I did some training outside, just hill runs, kind of playing in the park, and then got back into last week. And I'm just kind of ready for, whatever comes. Islam being out in Russia, doesn't really sound as applicable. I'm down for that fight. I'm down for whoever, man. Right now we're looking for local guys that are ready. The cat that they threw at me last minute, they keep kind of pushing that. I don't know if that's something they want. It just depends. It just depends the date and who's prepped, and then beyond that, it also depends what the matchmakers want to see, because it seemed like getting ready for this last fight, the tables, the options on the table, became pretty slim, and it was just they were just sort of pressing me with whoever they wanted me to fight. I thought it was going to be Michael Johnson for a minute, and then he was game for that, and then that kind of got pulled out, and then we both kind of got fed different opponents. So I don't know, man. The whole thing's just real hairy right now. We're just kind of waiting to see what they want to do, and then we're going to do it.
Yeah. So do you think you're going to end up fighting on the UFC 249 card on May 9th, or
No.
what? No.
No, I don't want to, because I'm not trying to be strung out to my fight, man. I've been grinding since, fucking always. But with the shoulder surgery, I've been in complete full swing since January, and I've just been I've been revving it up for the fight for this date. So, having kind of the roller coaster ride, and then having the fight canceled, and then having the question mark and the uncertainty on the May 9th. You don't want to be strung out by the time you get to the fight. You want to be fresh. You want to be, eager, ready to go, and you want your body to be in good condition. So I broke a lot of things down getting ready for that date. I was already, weight cutting. I was overcoming, ailments. And so I want to see this May 9th card happen. I don't want to kind of be the guinea pig for it anymore. I want to see the May 9th card happen. May 9th card happens, dope. There's a 16th and a 23rd. Put me on, and I'll be training. I'll be ready for it. I just don't. I don't want to recut the weight. I don't want to get back down 3 weeks from now and then have it pulled out again, because I'm not terribly confident it's going to happen. So I'm just gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna be fight ready. I'm just not gonna cut the weight again.
Got it.
Yeah.
And if May 9th does happen, who do you have again with Tony Ferguson fighting Justin Gaethje? What's your prediction for that fight?
Dude, that's such an exciting fight. I think it's cool, too, that Gaethje is getting the time. I almost didn't even want that fight to happen. The other weeks, it was that's such a phenomenal fight that you want both guys to get their due justice as far as, timeline on a camp, And so now that Gaethje's got some time, I don't know. Those are probably two of the most dangerous dudes, in the organization, I think.
Sure.
They really are. They both have a killer champion mentality, and they've got sublime composure over their game. So I think Gaethje's got a really, really good shot of taking Ferguson out in the first round, the first 2 rounds, because Ferguson historically loses the first round.
And his chin's not the greatest.
His chin's up. So. Well, I mean, he fucking takes it like a champ, but he gets caught. And Gaethje, I think, is a catcher that motherfucker throws. He's gonna sling harder than maybe Pettis did or anybody else prior to that. And also all those guys like Pettis, everyone else who hit him, those accumulate, I believe. So I think Gaethje's got a really, really great possibility of catching him in the opening 2 rounds. I think as the fight goes on, those jabs, those elbows that Ferguson lands are so sticky. And then they're so dicey that he'll start to weigh on him. They start to get cuts, start to swell real bad. You see that in all of his opponents. And so I think as the fight goes later, it'll favor Ferguson more.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't fucking know, dude. What the fuck do I have no idea how it's going to go, man. I think it's a crazy fight. I don't know who's going to win that fight.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great fight for sure, though.
Yeah.
So you said that you wanted to fight 3 times this year, early 2020. Do you still see yourself fighting 3 times, or do you think it's going to be down to maybe 2 or 1, depending on how the pandemic goes?
I still like to get 3, man. If this May thing happens, so we got May, then we got July, August time frame, and then we got November, December time frame. So I can still squeeze out 3. I mean, I certainly want to get at least 2, man. You know, and I really, really want 3. So assuming that there's no injuries that come, I'm gonna fight for 3. I'm gonna train my little dick off and get ready for 3 fights. You know, I'm gonna get ready to go. That's about it.
Yeah. And if you had to pick 3 opponents for those 3 fights, who would they be?
Again, dude, I don't know. It's a fucking shit show. I really like the Islam fight.
Yeah.
You know, but like if they give me something like this Morales guy on the fly, okay, I'll take him. And then it's just like whoever's ready, like whoever is in the top 15, top 10, who's ready for that August time period, and then who's in the top 10 for the end of that year, 2021. Let's go top 5, midsummer. Maybe we do one more top 5. It just depends what they got going for me. Let me fucking get that belt. 2021 summer fall period.
Yeah,
you know?
And hopefully the whole lightweight division, you know, clears up because you know we have Khabib, then we have Conor trying to get a title shot. So
I mean, the whole thing's a clusterfuck, dude. That this weight's a clusterfuck. That's why it's like, who are you gonna fight? Like, dude, I don't fucking know. And every time I say I want to fight somebody, they disappear anyways. You know, it's like, and I'm not even saying it's like the matchmakers have a plan, dude. It's like they're gonna orchestrate shit however they want to orchestrate shit. Like, I try to take control of it. You know, I've like had close bouts with Pettis, Ferreira, Islam. I think Gillespie was one that was kind of. I felt like all these names have been like where I thought we were going to do the bout, and then, you know, for whatever reason we don't. You know, the matchmaker's like, oh no, that guy's off the table now. Like, okay, well, what fucking table am I on then, dude? Like, what table are we looking at? You know, where are the cards? So
yeah,
I'm just here, dude. I'm here. I'm ready. I'll fight anyone. You know, I'm prepared. I'm fucking prepared. I've been rehabbing my shoulder. It's the first time in a long time I've had 2 arms, and I'm good to go, man. You know, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So speaking about your last fight, did you go into the Trinado fight with like an injured shoulder, and were you like a 1-arm fighter?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I went into that bitch with 1 wing, dude. I tore my right arm. I had a bucket handle labrum tear where it just like completely detached and rolled over. And so the recovery kind of sucked for that, but going into it, I didn't grapple for about a month, and I didn't use that right hand for nearly a week. In the back, I was just using one hand. I was like, I was squeezing my coach, trying to do these like just these kind of like pickups to get just my muscles firing. And he's like, he told me afterwards he was so fucking nervous because he was like, dude, that's not it, dog. that's not the grip. And it showed, dude. I body locked him one time, and normally like I would just pick him up and slam him, and I second guessed myself, and then the dude like launched me. I didn't go any. I mean, I hit my knee on the ground and sprung up. But I got kind of like I got handled. I didn't get thrown to my back, but he whipped me over. I hit my legs on the ground and sprung back up, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude, what are you doing? It's like I had nothing in it. It was it was pathetic. It was really sad. So I finally got that. I got that right arm repaired after that fight. I just couldn't miss the fight. It was a big opportunity. It was a guy I knew I could beat, and it was in my hometown, and it was a fucking lackluster fight, but it was a lackluster opponent matchup, you know, and again being kind of being a little handicapped that fight, but it is what it is. It was a good growth experience, and then being able to beat a guy like that with one arm, I'm cool with that. So got the surgery. I've been training this year now with 2 arms. Last year, a big part of it was without my right arm. I was just constantly having to compensate for it. So like, I've got like a lot of confidence back that I didn't have going into that fight. That was the only fight I've ever walked into where I was kind of like, let's see how this motherfucker goes. Normally I go in like, you know, feeling as close to God as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Feels good to be back. Yeah.
Yeah. So with Dana announcing Fight Islands, are you interested in fighting on the island, maybe?
Yeah, dude, that's some crazy sounding shit, dude. You know, yeah, I'd be down. That's a story. You know, that's a story for sure. I hope like we arrive and like, you know, Dana's got like an all white suit, like a cat, you know, like an all white cat, kind of like you know, kind of like this like villainous approach, and there's like some secret underground lair or something, you know. Yeah. I hope there's some obstacles to it, you know, some salacious women on the beach, you know. Some temptresses, you know, some crooked guards, you know, real Enter the Dragon style. But Yeah, I'm fucking down. I'm down with that. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
It beats the shit out of going to Abu Dhabi, dude. That's what I thought we were gonna do.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
we were gonna go to the Middle East.
How's
Yo,
it going?
what's up, dude? Sorry about that, man. My shit died on me.
Yeah, everybody was talking about like, man, even MMA Island has a better Wi-Fi connection than this guy. But I think your phone just died, so.
Yeah, my phone died on me. But yeah, I was saying Fight Island beats the shit out of Abu Dhabi, and we were prepared to do that on like a 3 weeks notice, which was just crazy. So yeah, I'm down to go to an island and get a little fucking strange out there and see what obstacles and riddles lie await.
Yeah, for sure, man. How do you feel about Tony Ferguson cutting down to 155, and he might have to cut back to 155 on May 9th? Do you think he's kind of crazy for that, or do you think?
I mean, I think Ferguson's always been like the perfect maniac, right? Like he does what he does, whether it sounds reasonable or not, it is, because it does put a fear or an uncertainty in his opponent's mind. Like, would I ever do that? Absolutely fucking not. But I'm also not, there's things Ferguson does that there's a reason why he is who he is, where he's at, So I think more power to him. I think he needs to keep it Fergie. I think it was a good move.
Yeah, and I've seen some interviews about Cowboy and a possible rematch, but you kind of said that you lost the lust for that fight after.
Yeah, I mean, I need to do more too. Like, I'd have to prove myself to earn that fight. Like, he kind of gave me the privilege in that opportunity the first time, and I botched it. So I need to. I would have to earn more victories before I could really challenge him again for a rematch. And yeah, like I said, maybe I did kind of lose a little bit of that lust. Not that it's not a victory I don't want to get back. But we'll see where he's at. We'll see where everyone's at. We'll see where the division's at, in another 2 fights for me. When maybe I've earned that, that right to call him out, or, anybody for that matter.
And do you think that fight was kind of essential for your career? Like, do you think it's maybe like helped you reevaluate yourself and, make you into like
definitely helped me reevaluate things, that's for sure. It taught me a lot about composure. I was trying too much to get by on this, like, young gunners, like kind of like dash and go. Like, I was just going to go in and like run through anybody and expect these top 10 guys to fold, in the opening bouts, or the opening rounds rather. And, I learned a lot about that. I learned a lot about composure. I learned a lot about preparation. And so it was a good fight, good humbling experience. And it sharpened my strategy too. I approached that fight strategically to break him mentally and then go in there physically. And, he was able to weather the storm, and I didn't make the adjustments I needed to make. And so it taught me a lot about that. And that's what I tried to exercise in the following fight, was composure and making adjustments. And now that I'm healthy, I'm prepared to go in this next fight, rounded, mentally sound.
Yeah. And do you think your next fight is Islam? Like, do you think, I don't think it's going to be Islam, because, he's chilling across the world right now with flight bans. So I think it's probably going to be someone on local soil, someone who's been preparing during this pandemic, and it might be a young gunner like this guy that they threw at me, on short notice. Yeah, somebody who's hungry and eager to just come take me out and take my spot, because it's a good opportunity for them. And a lot of guys don't have a lot to gain if they haven't been preparing to fight me. The guys that are in the top 15, there's not really a high payout for them to challenge me in a time like this. So I expect them to be less willing, and I expect it to be probably a random, this first fight. And then as things get back in a full swing and guys get back in their gyms, they'll be more confident. Yeah. And most fighters, they don't want to fight anybody below them, because, they might have
right. I'm just going to be a risk, because they have a higher rank than me. I've been preparing for a fight. I'm a threat. I'm wholeheartedly know I can defeat any of them. And whether they believe that or not, it's not a risk that most would be willing to take.
Yeah. And I think I
invite whoever is willing to take that risk.
Yeah. And I feel like people really underestimate your skill set, because, if you think back to UFC in Canada, when you out-wrestled OSP, and that was a fight that a lot of people thought that OSP was going to out-wrestle Hernandez, but you went in there with a perfect game plan, and you out-wrestled OSP, and that's an incredible feat to have, too, because OSP is a really great wrestler.
Yeah, no, I felt good about that. You know, I was upset with myself in that fight though because again I didn't really exercise the composure and kind of the just the sound judgment that I would have wanted to exhibit throughout that fight. There are a lot of moments that I could have capitalized on, but just being a little lost in the moment, you know, I lapsed, and so I was frustrated, and I didn't learn enough off of the mistakes in that fight going into the next one in this Ronnie fight, and so despite the Trinaldo fight even being lackluster, it was a moment for me to like take some reflection and be in the moment. It's the first time I've ever really been present in the cage. Normally I'm just like this like adrenaline rocket, you know, and I just go in there, you know, hubris high, ready to bomb. And so that last fight was like a good moment of clarity for me. And it's just growth, man. I'm young in my career here. This is only 4 fights in an early career of I think under 15 fights, and so I'm growing. I'm growing quickly, you know.
Yeah. And can you tell, like, for the last question on here, can you tell us a little bit about what got you into MMA? Like, was there a certain fight or event that you know, inspired you?
I was just fucking bored, dude. I was just really bored. I didn't want to go to class, so I went to the gym instead. You know, I grew up playing basketball, and I realized I was too short and I sucked, and so I stopped doing that.
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah, my dad got me into wrestling, and so I started wrestling like at the end of 8th grade, going into 9th, and then that just became life all through high school. I got super committed to that. Didn't make it where I wanted to for college, so I ended up just going to school for finance and just met some good people. Or no, actually, my uncle blew out his knee, and he had a membership to a gym, and so he was like, "Hey, dude, you want to use the rest of this membership that I've got paid for because I'm going to go get surgery." I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I missed that competitive drive. Missed getting sweaty with a bunch of dudes. So just thought I'd fucking jump back into that pool, and I did. And before I knew it, I was skipping class during the day to go. You know, it was all freshman classes, which were really easy to kind of get by on. You know, with just some overnighters. So yeah, I started going during the daytime. I started going at night. I was just going to the gym all the time, and I graduated the finance degree, but you know, I definitely over majored in mixed martial arts. I spent countless hours. You know, I was training full time, and so that was kind of the dream, and the plan was fighting for forefront and then finance as a backup.
Oh yeah, nice, man. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go into finance. You know,
it's a good move, dude.
Soon.
Yeah.
Was there like a certain fighter that inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a number of them. You know, GSP was a huge role model.
Oh, yeah,
they're the big up. You know, I've had a number of them. GSP was at the forefront of that, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
And did you try to like maybe match your style to his? You know, because he came from because wrestling. He's probably one of the most balanced fighters.
Right. And
that's like you kind of modeled yourself after GSP.
Yeah, that's always been my thing, is to try to be as balanced as possible. So like I've mimicked Aldo. Aldo is one of my favorites, and I would try to mimic him, and then GSP. And then I started fusing in some Dominic Cruz, and then TJ Dillashaw, and then Tiger. And those have been kind of like my collage, you know, of champions that I've sort of tried to articulate in my own style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks, Alex, for you know, being live with us. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. You know, sorry for the interruption, dude. Thanks for coming back on with me, and good time.
You're good, man. But yeah, let's catch up sometime later. But thanks for taking out of your time out of training to talk with us. I really appreciate it.
Word. Thanks, man.